your room. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Something Super Spiritual. I have Anthony Mikolojeski with us again. Yay!
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I'm so glad you're here. We're getting started a little bit later. We're having some leftover Mercury retrograde shenanigans happening over here.
I think so. Thank you so much for having me again.
I'm so glad to see you. How have you been?
You know what? I've been doing good. I've been busy. Lots of readings, classes. I've been teaching classes, have classes coming up this summer. In New York and Colorado. So I'm excited. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's really good. Where are you going in Colorado?
In the Denver area, a place called Centennial, I believe, which is about maybe 30 minutes or so from Denver.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I'll be teaching mediumship there. Yeah, so I'm excited about it.
I'm excited about that too for you. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I haven't been to Colorado in probably 12 years or so. It's been a long time. So it'll be nice to be back there. And, I'll be there in August, so the weather will be nice.
I love Colorado. I think we're having some more shenanigans happening.
Well, we still, we'll still have, we'll still have some leftover from the retrograde, I think, Mercury retrograde, but who knows?
I was just on with Dina DeCastro yesterday talking about coming out of these retrogrades, and I think she said we're still in the shadow of it for another 2 weeks. So
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. You have someone listening that's from her name's Brianna. She's in Denver. And just want to let you know that you can go to my website at ashevilleMedium.com on my 2025 upcoming events page. And you can see all my classes there and the links to get to the classes and such. So for any of you other listeners that are listening, so, since we're
that's
talking
Brianna.
about
that's Brianna who's helping us. She's in the Denver area.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Yeah. Sign up. It would be really great. And, for anyone else who would like to sign up, it's going to be a nice class. It'll be an intro to mediumship class. So it's nice for the general public who would like to, maybe personally connect with spirit, or at least know the language and how to, connect with their loved ones from a personal level. And then, that class is great for someone that's, wanting to do this, as a spiritual path profession. So it'll give you the ethics and, professional background and how to work, what to do and what not to do in mediumship. I cover all of that as well to keep it, keep the integrity high. So
excellent. Yeah. So, very important.
Yeah, it's a 2-day class actually. So it's a weekend class.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how have you been, Jeffrey?
I've been doing well myself. I came out of my surgery and I'm going upstairs now. So I'm very happy about that.
That's really great to hear. You
Yeah.
look great.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel good. I feel much better. I think it's been 4 weeks since the surgery and a good 2 weeks under my belt with PT. So that really helps. I've never had PT, so I
Mm.
wasn't sure what to expect. I was told it was going to hurt, but I mean, nothing hurts. It's just like, I just feel like I'm getting stronger, doing those exercises. And that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the key, right? So good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. Good for you.
Yeah. Thank you. Let's say hi to everybody. We've got, hi, Liz. Liz says it is the most beautiful day in Denver today, by the way.
Oh, wonderful. That's a
Michael
good
Christopher,
feeling.
Bernadette. Hi, Sue. Hearts to hearts. Oh, hi, hearts to hearts. Margaret. Ness. Hi, Ness. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your moderating. Jules, learning to listen. Hi, Jules. And Carol. Yeah. And Vicky. Hi, Vicky. Always good to see you. Yeah. Thank you, guys. I'm so glad that you're here with us.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to,
welcome, everyone.
guys. So, if you have any questions, psychic questions, mediumship questions, put them in the comments with capitals. It's easier for us to get to them, to see them, with these progressives,
Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah, the energy this week is has been a little bit chaotic.
Yeah.
There's been a lot going on. The readings, the people seem to be really going through it. What have you noticed with your readings in the last week or so? Have you noticed a theme?
It's I think that people are just kind of worried. They're tired of the chaos every single day. And I told them, I said, listen, it's going to get worse this month, and we're not even we're not even through April yet. But
Yeah.
to hang in there, because you know, I I I have been told from my spirit guides that we need to go through this unfoldment, and it needs to unfold um, to a certain time period of when it's ready. We're going to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So hang in there. It is going to get better, and we're all going to be okay. It's just not to get into politics, but my spirit guides just said it needs to unfold in a timely manner, and that things will get better. So I'm
Yeah.
trusting in that, because I
agree.
trust in. Yeah.
I absolutely agree with that. It does have its time. It has the time that we need to get through it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, when we are, and there's a lot of people who just aren't, paying a whole lot of attention, and
Right.
it takes a little bit more time. So, and being part of that collective,
Mm-hmm.
ultimately it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely a conscious awakening, and awareness that needs to happen before it transitions to being better. So, but I think it's already on the way of being better. We just don't see it. And anyhow, we're going to stay positive in the meantime. And I just tell I tell my clients, stay grounded, do your breathing exercises, stay grounded, go into your heart space and remember who you are, and stay in your light, build your light within your heart center, and expand that light, into the room, and sit in that light for a good 10 minutes, and
Yeah.
remember who you are, because that will ground you, and it'll center you.
Yeah.
So
Yes. Stay in your joy.
that's true.
And you know what? That little space that you're talking about, that little light center, that is a very joyful space to be in.
It is.
Mhm.
It is.
Yeah.
I always recommend everyone to go to a place where maybe a memory of either with you or your loved ones You can be by yourself as well. But, take yourself to a place where you connect with, higher source, God, or higher consciousness, however you believe personally, and sit in that memory, that positive memory. And it has to be where you're somewhat connecting with nature, whether it be, looking over a cliff, or being out by the ocean, or, maybe it's, looking over your property, wherever you connect with that greater source, and remember how that makes you feel. Go into that loving humbleness of appreciation and gratefulness for what you have in your life, and then bring that to your heart space, and allow the sun's rays to shine on your face, and feel the warmth of that, and then take that loving experience and bring it up through the bottom of your feet, and light up your chakras, and bring it to your heart center. And that way you have that heart loving experience there, and you remember who you are in that loving experience. And it's really important to get you to remember that. Okay, so I hope that helps a lot of people.
That's beautiful. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. What I've been getting this week, I've had these readings where spirit is coming through in such a strong way with when we're doing the readings and the evidence is coming through from the loved ones in spirit. The evidence is the normal evidence, their personality, or the things they love to do, their work, whatever. But the evidence this week has been so much different. It's been less about that and more about what's going on in their life. What's going on in their life right now?
That's a good point. I can totally agree with that. I think I experienced a lot of that this week as well. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they went right to the chase. They didn't really want to talk too much about, how they might have talked about how they passed a little bit, or a little bit of their personality, but they got right into like what's going on in this person's life, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's been fascinating. It's been fascinating. And I just love it when that happens.
Yeah. Well, spirit is teaching us how to work with them differently all the time. And so we're constantly learning. We're constantly growing as mediums and learning from the spirit world. And I always look at it when they're coming in from a different angle, or, showing us a different, experience, or, maybe a different sound, or a different, different experience using our clairs. They're teaching us that new experience, and it's like you go, wow, I've never had this in a reading before, but yeah, that they're constantly teaching us.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right, you know what? Let's go into the readings for we've got a lot of comments that are highlighted for us.
Okay.
Yeah, with us getting a little bit of a late start, and Brianna and I have to go to the second show after this. You guys, Brianna and I will be on with Cheryl Murphy on Seeing Beyond Living Transformed on their channel. It'll be on my channel as well. Cheryl's channel, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. So join us out there too. That'll be fun. Do you see anything that you want to start with off the top of your head?
Let's see here.
Any of the questions that are sticking out or spirit is calling you to?
You know what? I don't see the questions, unfortunately.
Okay, you got to hit the comments. Touch the comments up at the top right underneath the red. Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the one that's been calling at me since we've been on here. Diana. Hi, Diana. It's good to see you again. So Diana asks, any message for my psychic abilities? I've had several friends and relatives come to me middle of the day with a physical sense/presence, and in my dreams with messages. Would love guidance.
Okay. And you want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Can you repeat it one more time?
Any message for my psychic abilities? I've
Okay.
had I've had several friends and relatives come to me middle of the day with a physical sense/presence, and in my dreams with messages. Would love guidance.
Okay. Um, all right. Okay, so you're getting things in your dreams. Okay. Um, yeah, I can tell you exactly why this is happening. For one, you're right now your life is really changing. Okay. And there there seems to be also a shift where you're kind of, to me, reevaluating your friendships and reevaluating a lot of things in your life. And I guess what they're trying to do is they're trying to move you away from what you think you need to be around, or the people that you need to be around. And I just get the feeling they're giving you these signs. I don't, I just, to me, it's it's not reevaluating. It's confirming that you have these abilities. Okay. And I just really feel like, it's like you need to listen to your intuition to go forward in your life and to make these new decisions, these new relationships. Because I just feel the relationships that you have, I feel like you've outgrown them, and I feel like there's people on the other side trying to say, hey, pay attention here. It's time for some change. And I wouldn't even be surprised if you even think about moving to a new location. Does that make all sense to you?
Do you understand, Diana? I'm gonna I'm gonna add to this while we're waiting for Diana.
Sure.
Because Diana, I do feel a shift. She says that certainly does. Yes, I absolutely feel a shift in your world as well. And it does feel like things are changing, things are shifting. In other words, like Anthony had mentioned, certain relationships that are starting to fizzle out or move away from your center. When we start to elevate and we start to expand and we start to recognize that divine connection within, and I know you're connected, Diana, but when that veil starts to lift, so to speak, on our insides, we start to vibrate at a higher frequency. And those, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Uh-oh. Anthony, you're frozen. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Oh no. Okay, good. Yeah. So those relationships and that which no longer vibes with us does start to roll out naturally. And it feels to me like all of this information that you're getting, it's just your own soul reminding you that this is pinging you. And the synchronicities are happening. These messages are coming through. You have the mediumship juice. This information is coming through in your dreams. Um, your veil is absolutely lifting. In fact, the card that came up for you, Diana, is the priestess card. So when we look at the priestess as an archetype, I mean, she's connected, right? But her question is also, how are you stepping up and being called to lead?
Mm-hmm.
And that is it feels so in alignment with where you are. And it's not so much how are you being called to step up and lead, in other words, for other people just yet. This feels to me like it's a lot more about how are you being called to step up and lead within yourself. Lead where you're starting to really move towards that calling, where you're really starting to recognize, okay, this is where I light up from the inside, and then you just start to expand in that way, and that's the direction you're moving. You are a natural healer. You are, and you have been. I mean, oh, well, you're holistic RN. Of course. That's why holistic RN is there.
There you go.
So yeah, you are a natural healer. You've been doing that. And right now you're opening up and expanding, and life is changing. Life is shifting as it does on the outside. When we start to move this direction, it happens to every single one of us. Oh, and she's confirming that she is looking at moving.
There you go. Yeah, that will happen, by the way. And it's going to be a great move for you, because I think, it's time for a new environment. To me, you have to be challenged, in order for you just like to grow and challenge. But don't, I think with everything going on in the world, I think you've been kind of holding back from kind of being in yourself, just with all the energy floating around. And sometimes we get stuck with that energy. So, just, jump in with 2 feet in, you're going to land just fine. Okay. So, trust in spirit, guiding you. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who else do we have?
Yeah. Please keep us posted, Diana. Let us know what happens.
Oh, she says, that's amazing. I'm looking forward to moving closer to nature, where I plan to lead forest therapy and my own nursing coach practice. Thank you so much. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. All right. Jeffrey, it's your turn.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm just going to go with, oh, I can't tell. My mouse isn't working. Click. I'm just aiming for a blue dot. Oh, here we go. All right. So Stephanie, Instagram. Hi, Instagram people. Thank you so much for being here. Good evening. Just wondering if there might be a love interest coming soon. I've been alone for over 4 years now. So Stephanie, I want to talk about, here's the thing. When people ask me a relationship question, when I get that, when I get that, spirit gives me the symbol of a rose bush. And depending if somebody's in a relationship or not, and how the rose bush appears to me, that's how I can understand where the relationship is. When I connect with you, Stephanie, the rose bush it's under the ground. The seed has sprouted. It is under the ground. It has not penetrated the earth, the actual soil yet, but it is a very healthy seedling, sprout, I guess we can call it. I know that you said that you've been alone, but I want to encourage you to see this phase reframe is how I want to describe this, less alone and more like focusing on you. Because there's work that we all need to do, that we're all here to do. There's work that we are here to move through, to let go of. We're talking about old wounds, right? Old traumas, old patterns that no longer serve us. And I just want you to, I hope that you would recognize the amount of work that you've been doing for your own self, your own growth, your own spiritual path. You wouldn't be here if you weren't on the spiritual path. I recognize your name. I know you've been here. You've been here many times. So this work that you're doing is elevating. It's elevating yourself. You're expanding, and you're letting go of all of those past hurts. You're moving through with more compassion, more acceptance, more forgiveness. And when we do that, we're lighting up like a beacon in the universe. And your heart is ready. You think that you're ready. But I really want to encourage you to just remember that. Okay, so when I tune into you also, I can see that potential is there with you. He's out there looking for you too. And he's out there doing his work too. You will attract somebody who meets you where you are. And that's awesome. This doesn't feel like a relationship that you are going to have to coach into existence. This is somebody who gets it. So I really want to encourage you to recognize this past 4 years as the growth that it was intended for. Let go of any expectation or demand as to your own timing of when you want this person to show up, and be open and receptive and grateful for all this work that in itself will elevate you even more to attracting that person who's out there looking for you. But I do sense it in your field 100%.
And can I add something to that?
Absolutely. Yeah, please do.
I also, I'm just going to be real quick because I want to get as many people in tonight as we can. But what really called out to me was she also was reliving the trauma of the last experience of the relationship. And it's kind of like, you know how like sometimes you'll relive something and you keep beating yourself up as to like saying, well, this didn't work, or it failed for me, and just remember that, you can't change the past, number one. And number two, you didn't fail. You grew out of that circumstance in so many ways. And I just always think like, I get the hermit card with the lantern, and it's to me, it's been like you've been guided through this whole experience up to now. And now I feel like you are in a different space to where you're able to move forward now and maybe not be so hard on yourself, if that makes sense. Okay. So good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What Spirit said. All right.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Can I talk to Carrie? I think she's from Northern Ontario, Canada.
Yes.
Feeling, she says, let's see here. Oops, too fast.
It's right up on the screen.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. Duh. Okay. Hello from Northern Ontario. Okay. Any advice from Spirit? Feeling anxious about my daughter's first anniversary of her crossing over is in just a few weeks. Oh, I'm very sorry for your loss. The first thing I get is that I feel that it was an unexpected passing, if that makes sense. And I feel it was kind of like sudden, like and maybe if I could, maybe a misdiagnosis of what actually was happening. I just feel like it's kind of like there's confusion around it or something. But as I connect with her, I just want to say that, she wants to reassure you that it was her time to go, even though I don't really feel she really wanted to go while she was here in the physical world. Obviously, I feel she wanted to continue her life, but I just get there's confusion around her passing, and I just want to let you know that she is really doing well here. Also, let's see. There is, I think you might have been looking at some of her possessions recently, that she tells me that you were holding her possessions. I feel like it might be clothing or jewelry. And she says she was with you at that particular time, and that must have just been recently. And it just gives you some reassurance that she's with you currently. Not only was she, loving you so in the past, but that she's with you right now, somehow she wants me to say to you that there are some guilty feelings that you're feeling over her passing. And she says, I don't want you to feel guilty whatsoever because it wouldn't have changed anything. So if that gives you some comfort and some healing, Um, and also, she says that right now there must be some family members that are planning to go on a trip sometime soon. That's at least an idea, or at least talked about, that there's a trip coming up with the family, she says. And I will be with you during that trip. So I just want you to know that she's aware of that plan. Does that make all sense to you?
Carrie, did you understand that information? I want to add to that too, just quickly before we move on. I got a flash of a squirrel, Carrie, and I feel a lot of laughter around it. I feel very playful around it, and it feels to me like she's. If you haven't had the experience with the squirrel, a squirrel will be getting your attention. And it feels to me like, you know, she's really working with the squirrel to get your attention. And there's an experience you had or will be having shortly with this squirrel. And I want to laugh over it. It's funny, it's silly, and at the same time, there are tears over it because of this recognition, this recognizing. Like she wants me to say, it's me, it's me, it's me. You know, she's getting your attention. That's one thing I can say I've not said to anybody. I've not had a squirrel. Anybody used a squirrel yet? So birds, yes, but squirrels not yet. So I hope you understand what we're saying, Carrie.
Yeah, unusual interaction with the squirrel. I've never had a squirrel either. So let's see.
Yeah, thank you for being here, Carrie.
Okay, I haven't seen her respond just yet. Have you, Jeffrey?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, Jeffrey.
Oh, here she is. Hold on. Here she is.
Oh.
She says, yes, it all makes sense. Yes.
24.
She died from 24 of an asthma attack. Oh, that is.
Oh.
She lived 2,000 miles away. I got there too late. I had to take her off life support. She was 100% brain dead. Planning a trip in 2 weeks. Excellent.
Well, feeling guilty about what you had to do with her passing in relation to her passing makes complete sense. I'm so sorry for your loss. Just know that she is around you. Let me tell you something. She is a sunshine of laughter and joy, and she's still very much that in the spirit world. So.
Completely. The laughter, the vibe. Oh, she said something else. Thanks to you both, we have squirrels, so I'll pay more attention. She's starting mediumship class and just finished 6 months beginner. Awesome. I'm glad you said that, Carrie, because I almost said this, and I'm going to say it now. But there are so many people that come through into their spiritual abilities, their connection, recognizing that true divinity within through the trauma of losing a child or a parent or a love, whatever, even a pet, a pet that was so close. This kind of trauma absolutely can open us up. And it's one of those things where it's the hardest thing we can ever imagine happening to us in life. But through this, it's one of the most eye-opening, awakening, fill your cup kind of experiences moving past that can happen as well. So I'm so happy to hear that for you. I'm horribly sad about the experience you had to go through, let's be clear, but for you to be here and have this awareness and this awakening through this trauma is truly soul inspiring. Completely.
Yeah. Okay.
And you guys, I just wanted to say this. I wanted to say this earlier too. If any of you are hearing these messages that are for someone else that are pinging you on your insides, and it sounds like, "Ooh, he could be talking to me," we are talking to you too. I just wanted to remind you of that. That you're here for a reason. Synchronicity has you here in this moment. You were meant to hear that, and you were meant to feel that on your insides. And we are speaking to you too, if you feel it that way.
Yeah, exactly. You said it right. I mean, the messages can give healing to not only the one person we're working with, but to several of you that have similar experiences in relation to the evidence that's coming through. So, yeah. All right, Jeff.
Anthony, here's one for you. I'm going to go to Pinirak. Hi, Pinirak. Pinirak.
Oh.
Sorry if I'm butchering your name, but she says, Anthony, can I become successful overseas, and which way geographically?
Okay. Wow. Wow, that's an interesting question. Well, yes, I do believe that you can be successful overseas. What's interesting is I know that you're a person that does a lot of research before you make a move, and it has to feel right. So to me, I think you must have at least 3 places that you're thinking about living in. But they're all over the different parts of the globe. That's the interesting thing. It's not just like it's all in Europe or whatever. It's 3 different places, and I'm just going to take a lucky shot at it. I'm thinking maybe London, England, or England in general, and maybe I'm feeling either Germany or Japan. I mean, that's just one of the 3 that come to mind. And I know that you're teaching something. That's how I feel, that you're somehow teaching others. So there's a teaching ability here. And I almost feel too that you're, besides teaching, you're selling part of what you're doing. You're selling part of your work. Does that make any sense as well?
Hey, Panirak, do you understand this? What's interesting, Anthony, is like when I can't even speak. Oh no, she doesn't understand it.
She doesn't understand it. Huh? Maybe it's for somebody else, but it must be for somebody else. I have to trust with that. If there's anyone else that can take any of that, that they're teaching, and they have a product also that they're selling. And I'm sorry, Panirak, that I'm not I'm not connecting, but sometimes this happens. I mean, Jeffrey, can you get anything for her?
Well, I went immediately across the Atlantic. So all of the energy for me, Panirak, is going across the Atlantic. So I'm headed over to Europe. That's where I know I'm going. And I can feel that.
She said South Greenland, Quebec, or South Norway. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Panirak, I'm going to go with South Norway. It's where the energy is, because I literally, I went whoop right over to Europe, and I know the energy for me was definitely over there in that area. You know what? And I did. I pronounced, well, thank you. That was spirit. Darling, let me talk a little bit about this, because I feel there is, when I tune into you, there's orange all around you. So I know that this is up for you, and this is an when I see orange in somebody's field, that tells me that they're up for a big change in where they live and or how they do their work, or both. And this is absolutely presenting with the potential and probability that this is happening. As much orange as I see is in your field, There, I mean, it's in all the shades too. We're working through all of them, but there's also red in there, which is a really bright, beautiful red, which gives me this information that, or this feeling that that this passion is coming out of you. That there's an excitement about this shift and this change, and I feel like too, it feels collaborative to me, where there are other people involved. There are other people within I was going to say within the decision. Maybe I mean that because that was the first thing I was going to say, but I'm not quite sure what it means. But I have a very strong feeling about this for you, Panirak. I absolutely feel it. It excites me. It excites me. So here's another thing. You feel very methodical to me. And I want to encourage that and be crystal clear about the details, is what I'm supposed to say. Be crystal clear about the details. But it does feel really good to me.
Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't connect there. There are certain clients that you can automatically connect with, and every once in a while I get a client that I cannot connect with, and I just feel that might have been one of them. It happens once in a great while,
It does happen. It happens to all of us. It's okay.
It does. I've never had it happen on a YouTube channel or a live thing, but here we go.
First time for everything.
But that's okay. Unless the information was for somebody else, if there's anybody else that can take that with the teaching and the product that you're selling with the teaching overseas, I just felt like I had somebody there. But anyway, we'll move on.
Yeah, thank you, darling. Yeah, come back and let us know what's happening.
Let's see. There's Michael Christopher. He said, "I'd love to hear from either one of my brothers or my sister. Thank you," he says.
Michael, are you still here?
Is he there? No.
Yeah, he's here.
Oh, good.
Yeah, go ahead, Anthony.
Okay. Hi, Michael. Let's see. All right. So one of the brothers that I'm connecting with here in spirit, I kind of get the impression I'm living, kind of separating myself from the family. I do have emotional issues, and I feel like, and I feel depressed. There's that depression, and he talks about how he could get himself in one of these spirals where he just goes down the rabbit hole kind of thing, and I also know too that there must have been a time in your relationship where it wasn't like the best, and then there was a time where you were trying to help him, if that makes any sense to you, Christopher. And I get this, thank you. He says Danny was a lone wolf. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I'm glad I get that. Yeah. It's really like isolating myself. Like, I don't want to be, really near anybody. It's an interesting feeling. And there has to be some trauma that was experienced much younger as a child, where I feel like I'm not good enough, or I'm not trusting the adults or in my surroundings. And that may have triggered why he has the isolation. And then also relationships weren't really great. I don't know, felt there was disappointment there. Now, he says to me, what you do takes a lot of bravery, and what the type of work you do. Okay. And, okay. All right. And he must communicate with you regularly. Are you a medium? You must be a medium.
He
Michael
is.
Christopher, he's a medium? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because he says, I communicate with you regularly. And there's I'm just gonna say, does the music come on by itself sometimes? Um, okay, yes, lots of health issues throughout his life. I feel he held um, a lot of resentments because he wasn't a healthy person. Okay. I just feel like he's like there's trauma, there's a lot of trauma in this person's life. And kind of like, I'm sick of it. You know what I mean? I'm sick of all of this. You know what I mean? That's kind of what he had while he was here. Now he wants me to let you know that he's doing quite well. He's been in the healing part of the spirit world for a while. And so he just tells me, back to your bravery again, what you're doing, you're so much, that hasn't always been there for you as far as being brave. I think the mediumship has really helped you to pull yourself together in a lot of ways of your life, and make you more brave to jump into things that may have made you feel uncomfortable in the past. So he says, I applaud you. I'm so proud of you, brother. And just know that I'm so thankful for the things that you tried to help me with, and to make a difference in my life. And he sends his love to you. Okay. So he had kidney failure and then cancer. I'm sorry to hear that. That's really rough.
And he had two double lung transplants.
Wow. That's a lot.
I
That's
mean,
a lot.
that's like, talk about trauma. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of trauma. And I don't really feel too that I don't know. I just get the impression it's either maybe because he isolated himself so much, or maybe that people weren't around him to, I don't know. I just get like this touch and go of maybe I'm my worst enemy or whatever when people are trying to help me, and then I get mad at myself because I didn't allow them to help me. It's kind of like that back and forth. So just let you know that he's no longer in that, mindset, and that his consciousness and awareness, and, he's really worked on himself over here. Okay. I'll leave that with you. Spot on.
I want to add, Michael, I just want to add quickly that they're all super excited about your motorcycle. And
I like motorcycles.
when you're out there, they're like, they're experiencing all of that with you. And I know you know that, but as Anthony was talking, I got a flash of the red motorcycle, and I had to say that. So anyway, thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you. Jeffrey, your turn.
All right. Kim Princess. I love this name. Hi, Kim Princess.
Kim Princess. Wow.
Yeah, Kim Princess, are you still here? Please let us know you're still here. I think she is. She just made a comment. About Michael. Yeah, here she is. All right. You want to start, or you want me to go?
I'll let you go.
All right.
I did the last one.
So, Kim Princess, there is blue. There's blue all around you. And a lot of this blue feels really good. It feels, the blue correlates with our throat chakra. and that's our expression and our communication and our will uh, and how we show up with other people. And I feel like that there's been a lot of shift. Specifically, like, does it make sense, Kim? I feel like that you have had some shift within you where you are more authentically speaking your truth. There's a feeling where I just kind of feel like like when you've kind of put up with whatever for so long, and then you finally just like say what you need to say. That's what I feel like, but it feels like more than one person. It feels like this is your new normal is how it feels to me. All right, good, thank you. So I want to I'm being nudged to encourage that, continue that growth, that standing in your own power, really pulling your own power back. I can see all around your heart that you've been doing your own healing, your own work, working through those past wounds like we talked about earlier. I can also feel, what am I feeling? Hold on. I can feel that I know there's at least one. Could be two, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But it feels like I know there's one, more than likely two people that you're really struggling with moving through and letting go of the hurts from the past. There's this feeling like within this, like I feel like I want to like I'm mad, I'm holding on. And I feel like too, there's this conscious awareness, this intellectual knowing that it's time to let go of that stuff. But it's like getting your heart to meet your mind. That's hard. That's hard. And so, okay, so the point from the guides here is to acknowledge all of this work that you're doing. You're doing a great job. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, here. Keep going, keep going, keep going. This work that you're doing is awesome, and it's so helpful for your own growth, your own soul's growth. It is hard, I know, but they need to acknowledge the work that you've done and let you know how well you're doing. The more work that you continue to do, and meditation is hard. For a lot of us, I feel like it's difficult for you. But I want to remind you of those moving meditations, walking meditations, however we want to move. Washing dishes can be meditative, you guys. So when we get into that place where we just kind of are into that space of presence, breath, and just doing, where we're walking, moving, whatever, the gardening can be meditative. It's in that place where we can really open our heart. And when we go into that with the intention of healing and letting go and allowing that gook to get bubble to the surface and be cleansed away, do that with intention, because it's your heart will align with that and the brain telling you it's time for us to let this go. But you're doing a great job. That's the main message.
And I'm just going to add one more thing to that. This is all about confidence building within you to move forward. So all these lessons and things that have been so hard is kind of been shocking to you, because some of them you've gone through and you've excelled and went, oh my God, I can't believe I did that, And so, this is about confidence going forward, and you're going to get more confident when you start, as Jeffrey said, speaking your voice, but setting up the guardrails, for boundaries, healthy boundaries. And you're going to just feel so much better about yourself with those boundaries and feeling more confident going forward. So I wish you all the best. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, thank you for being here, Kim Princess. Let's do, you know what? Pinirak wanted to leave you a message, Anthony. She says, Anthony, no need for reply, but just in hindsight, if applicable to your reading, probably. I used to live in London and Nuremberg a little while when she was young and beautiful. Now she's just beautiful. That is the truth. And her mother's indigenous lineage is Japanese. So look at how you touched in. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I knew I felt Japanese, and I knew I saw London, and so I mean, you know, but I felt like I was kind of stumped with the question. Sometimes geographical questions. That's one area of my mediumship that I'll get it, or I'm like, Spirit's just not let me know, so I don't know. But I'm glad that some of the information was,
That's awesome.
Related.
Let's end with one last little reading for the collective.
Okay. Let's see here. Who do we have here? Let's see. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Oh. Do you see one there, Jeffrey? I'm still trying to find one here.
I'm just going to talk. I'm just going to start talking.
Oh.
So you guys, the message that's coming up for everybody right now is the visual that I get in my mind is this, like doing this little dance. And this little dance, when we get some great information, we get some good news, or we do something with great success, and we're like, yes, and we just do that little dance. That's the little dance that I'm seeing happening in my mind's eye right now. And with all of this stuff going on around the world, within politics, within different differences, let's just end it right there. Let's remember we're so much better together. And when we do come together and we recognize there's so much more in common with regard to our differences than not, this little, do you remember that show, Ally McBeal? Remember that little dancing baby? I mean, that's what
That's a perfect example.
Yeah, it's like going back to that space within and connecting with that joy, connecting with that inner child, in spite of what we see happening on the news and all through the social media threads and all that stuff. I just want to encourage going right back to that space of joy. I think we talked about it at the beginning, that space of joy. And if we're not there because we're going through a tough time, maybe we're in the thick of grieving a loss, a recent loss, however that might look, maybe we just lost our job with all these people that are being, let go in all these big companies. However it looks, give yourself some grace. Everything changes. Everything is up for a shift and renewal and to be cleansed and purified, and that includes our space of not being in the right place, or where we think we might be in the right place. I'm not feeling so great, so and then we start to feel a little bit of shame and a little bit of guilt, and then no, acceptance, grace. Find that little space, even if it's for a glimmer. Find that little inner child, that little dancing baby.
Yeah. Well said.
That's the flash that I got in my head.
Well, I think
Diana. Sorry, Anthony. Diana, thank you for that. Thank you so much.
She's dancing her happy dance. You're absolutely right. I think we have to remember, we're all spirits having a human experience. And when we look at ourselves as spirits, we, no matter what our differences are, whether it be our cultures, our religions, our philosophies, we are all spirits, first having a human experience. And as mediums, we work, Jeffrey, you and I, and Christopher, I'm sure you're still on there, is a working medium, and I'm sure there's a few others on here too. But there's no special place for one particular religion or culture or ideology. They're all here together in the spirit world, and they all know, they all look at each other as spirits there too, and we have to remember that that's our home, in the spirit world. This place we call Earth is our school, and so we're learning hard knocks lessons here on the Earth plane, no doubt. So be kind to one another. Look at people as a spirit. Come from your heart. And let's be tolerant with each other and understand that the only way we're going to get things done is by working together, right? And supporting each other. So I leave you all with that.
Yes. Thank you, Anthony Panirak. Thank you very much for your donation, your super sticker. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I just love you all to pieces. This is one of my favorite things to do. We'll be back. Actually, Brianna and I will be back in 30 minutes at 5:30 Pacific with Cheryl Murphy on their channel, Seeing Beyond Living Transformed. It's another one of my favorite places to be. Yeah, you guys. And next week we have some, I didn't get my list out, but next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we've got some more fun live streams for you. So thank you all for being here. Thank you so much.
Jeffrey, thank you so much for having me. Thank you all. It's been a pleasure.